Would you like to see football wherever you are in the world?
With NordVPN, you can get premium protection online and set your location so you never miss a minute of the content you usually enjoy.
Go to nordvpn.com/TSUW to get 72% off a 2-year plan plus 3 additional months absolutely free. Hello and welcome to another Sheffield United match reaction. We've just gone and beaten Hull City 3-1 at the MKM Stadium, I think it is. Yeah, no one remembers that. It's always the KCOM or the KC. It's not the Machine Gun Kelly Stadium or whatever it is. Anyway, guys, do you know what? It's great. I've just kind of took myself out of the situation, and it felt like last season. Do you know, because we had so many games on the box, it's great to kind of watch a match on TV and walk away actually not being annoyed, because last season we had a hell of a lot on TV and we lost pretty much all of them. So it's great to watch our team on the TV. We know that we're never that good on Sky, and we've gone to Hull. We've scored 3 goals. Unfortunately, we didn't keep that clean sheet that we wanted, but we've got the 3 points. We've got 3 goals, and we move on to the next one. It's another team that we're expecting to be down towards the bottom that we've beaten, but you've got to beat them. You've got to beat them, and it's an away game. It's our first away result of the season. It's actually the first goals that we've scored away from home as well of the season, I believe. It's not gone well for us away, but at the same time, we've also had, I think it is, a couple of clean sheets away from home. Yeah, Luton and Swansea. So it would be nice. We still haven't had that clean sheet since like kind of the international break, which is a bit annoying. We keep conceding goals, and we actually could have conceded another one today. But let's start from the beginning. The Blades started off the better team. We went up early, 17th minute. An excellent ball from Gibbs-White. I can't remember who played it through to Gibbs-White, but I think he chopped in and chopped out, and the ball came into the box right on Billy Sharp's head, right in the 6-yard box. It couldn't have been a better ball in from Morgan Gibbs-White. What a player that lad is. And I'll just bring this up right now. I know he got man of the match as well on Sky. Maybe Egan should have got it, though, for the 2 goals and his defensive performance. But Morgan Gibbs-White being given man of the match is going to be making Wolves want to recall him even more in January, as they've just gone and lost 2-0 at home to Brentford. That is a problem. Hopefully they'll get the checkbooks out and write some big checks to some clubs and bring in some attacking midfielders rather than bringing back Morgan Gibbs-White. In all honesty, and I know it's me saying this here because I want to see him for the season, but him playing in the Championship for a full season will probably benefit him as a player. But anyway, that's probably a little bit of me being biased there. Anyway, what an incredible ball into the box for Billy Sharp in the 6-yard box just to head home. Billy Sharp's not missing those chances. He was in the 6-yard box. He doesn't miss those chances. Maybe from the penalty spot he does. Unfortunately, in the 44th minute, Billy Sharp got played through. It was borderline offside. I think it was possibly just on. Just on. It's one of them that if we were in the Premier League, they'd be looking at for 5 minutes and then they'd probably give it offside. But it was very, very tight. And he was through one-on-one, didn't take a great touch, but then he got his body across and let the player bring him down. It was great striker play. He knows what he's doing. He's such an experienced striker that he knew that he had to move his body across the ball. So when the player came sliding in, it was a bit rash, to be honest. But the player probably thought, he's going to put this in the back of the net. I need to put some sort of challenge in there. And he did. And he took the man and then the ball. I think the thing is, a few people I've seen on Twitter already, Hull fans were saying that it weren't a penalty. He quite clearly took Billy Sharp and then he took the ball. So Billy Sharp steps up. Billy Sharp said after the game that he struck it well. He got it into the corner. I don't think it was quite in the corner. It was a decent enough penalty. Oh, pardon me. It was a decent enough penalty, but he didn't find the corner. If he'd have found the corner, the keeper wouldn't have saved it. The keeper went early. The keeper made a great save. But if I'm being honest, if a keeper dives that way, I think 8 times out of 10 he saves it. But yeah, he struck it well enough, just wasn't in the corner well enough for me. Anyway, straight after that as well, really, really infuriated me because Hull City players, they were constantly grappling from corners. We haven't seen this for a long time. Players used to do it constantly, and then refs started wising up to it and giving penalties, and a few penalties. And it's crept back in with Hull. I'm not sure why. I think it's Grant McCann's the gaffer of Hull. I'm not quite sure why he tells his players to do this. From what it looks like, it's not just 1 or 2. It's the whole team in the box. Every time there's a corner coming in, it's either arms around him like that. George Honeyman had Morgan Gibbs-White like that. It was almost like a wrestling move. And Morgan Gibbs-White probably for I think it was the second Blades goal, went down pretty easy, but he's holding him like this. He can't move anywhere. What else is he going to do? He's just showing the referee that he's being held, that he's being fouled. But the one for me, straight after the penalty, was just incredible. Billy Sharp was being held. Gibbs-White was being held. Egan held. Davis held. They're all being held. And the referee, where's he looking? Because if he's looking at one of these challenges, he's got to give a penalty for all of them. It was just incredible. Anyway, Hull cannot be doing that all season, or they're going to give away multiple penalties. Multiple. It was just stupid, in my opinion. Just crazy why they were doing that. Anyway, we go into the second half, and Egan, we go up pretty quickly. 61st minute, Egan scores a header from a Conor Hourihane corner. Very, very good corner. Really exactly where you want it to be for someone to attack it. But again, Hull players were doing the same things again. Just before that, I think it was Billy Sharp was giving George Honeyman a bit of an elbow. I love George Honeyman, by the way. I said this in the watch along because George Honeyman, it was my favourite player from Sunderland Till I Die. I love that documentary. And George Honeyman coming through was just, it was a breath of fresh air for him. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the game. But he was horrible today. He was absolutely horrible. With Billy Sharp, he was constantly holding him, and Billy Sharp's just trying to get him off him, and he did give him a few elbow digs to the face, which he probably shouldn't have done. But even after that, he was literally forcing him out of the 18-yard box because he was holding him so much. Anyway, so the ball comes in. Everybody getting held as usual. But luckily, Egan managed to swivel his man. It was all on his own in the middle of the box, headed home. Absolutely fantastic. And let's be honest, if that wouldn't have gone in, it would have been a penalty to us because Egan headed it in the corner and their player lifted his arm up to try and block it, and it hit his arm and went into the corner. So great header from Egan. It's nice to see him getting on the score sheet as well because he hasn't got on the score sheet too much. And in the Championship, you need to be scoring from corners and free kicks and things like that because that's what sets teams apart, is scoring from dead ball situations. And we've definitely conceded a lot from dead ball situations this season. So it's nice for us to take the chances when we get them. Then, sorry, it was the 50th minute that we scored and then the 61st. In the 61st minute, again, same two. Conor Hourihane crossing the ball and John Egan heading it in. First time, it was right in the middle of the box. Second time, it was at the front post. So Egan changed it up a little bit, went front post, flicked it in. Again, took a slight deflection off their player, but went in the back of the net. And it's great to see Egan he does this all the time. He did this season before last, where he scored against Wolves and Burnley. I think it was in the same week. But scored 2 goals today. It would have been nice to see him get a hat-trick. But no, it's fantastic to see Egan get on the score sheet. Ollie Norwood not playing and Conor Hourihane taking the corners and putting them on Egan's head. What does that say? I didn't think Hourihane had the greatest of games, but he certainly, he put the ball on Egan's head and we scored 2 goals from it. �W𝐚𝐲𝐸 came on. We'll talk about him in a second, and got booked straight away, which was quite funny. He didn't even touch him, did he? Did not touch him, and he got booked for it. It looks like it could have been a nasty challenge, but if you're not touching the player, can't be a foul, can't be a booking. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We move on. Tyler Smith got brought on, and within 3 minutes, 74th minute, Tyler Smith on the right-hand side plays an absolutely beautiful ball across the box for Keane Lewis Potter to put in the back of the net. Poor defending from us, in my opinion. Ben Davies, who had a great game, couple of last-ditch saving challenges, just didn't stick his leg out. If he'd have stuck his leg out, he may have got something on it and stopped it from going into the box. But he tried to shepherd him kind of towards the byline. Maybe he thought he was going to chop back inside, so he didn't want to really commit himself. But all it needs is to stick your leg out. If you stick your leg out, you're probably going to stop that cross coming in. I think it was Baldock at the back post, a little bit napping. And, he put the ball in the back of the net. A bit gutting because we wanted to see us get that clean sheet. We've like I said, we conceded two against Preston, 2 the game before against Peterborough, all from mistakes, really, all from mistakes. This one wasn't as much of a mistake, but it could have been avoidable, or it was avoidable. And then before we talk about going on to the players, Tyler Smith got put through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, put it away, given offside, but we're not in the Premier League. We're in the Championship, and it was given offside. Sorry, and he was quite clearly onside and well onside. It wasn't like the Billy Sharp where it was tight. He was onside, and really, it's a tale of 2 offsides. Yeah, fair enough. Billy Sharp didn't put away the penalty, but that makes it 3-2, and then who knows after that. But unlucky to Tyler Smith because he took that away perfectly with his left foot. It's one of them things, isn't it? It happens in football. It ended 3-1. We could have had some other goals from kind of Ollie McBurney on the volley. Morgan Gibbs-White with his left foot from outside the box. Keeper tipped it over. If that had gone either side, he possibly would have scored. But yeah, let's crack on into the players. Olsen didn't have a lot to do today. A lot of shots that just went down his throat, really. Didn't really have anything to do other than pick the ball out of the net, and he had no chance with their goal. George Baldock had a George Baldock game, really. He was slightly napping a couple of times. Like I said, for their goal, he was napping. And for one in the first half as well, when I think it was McGuinness put the ball into the box, but it wasn't a good enough ball. If it had been in front of the player, it could have even been the same player who scored the goal, Lewis Potter. But George Baldock managed to get back that time and get a touch in, but I think it was just the ball wasn't good enough. The ball was better. That was on his toe in the 6-yard box, and it's probably a goal. So George, it wasn't his best game today. Norrington Davis was okay. A lot of misplaced passes in the first half, or should I say the first 5 or 10 minutes with Osborne. It was a weird start. We weren't particularly good in this game. I thought Hull were poor. I thought we were slightly better. I don't think we were perfect by a long stretch, but we were definitely better than Hull. And seen some things on Twitter already where Hull was saying that we were lucky. Get a grip. We were far better than you guys. Fleck and Horahan playing defensive midfield. It wasn't Fleck's best game. The pick of his game really was getting the ball and running straight through about 4 or 5 men and getting to the edge of the box and laying it off to Gibbs-White to have a shot. He did okay in defensive areas, nicking the ball here and there, starting the attacks off. Could have given a penalty away at one point where he dived in. I think he just about got the ball. But it was tighter than what I expected because the lad was a lot quicker than Fleck. But because Fleck was in a better position, he managed to get the toe away and it wasn't a penalty. Horahan, not as good for me. He's obviously not played a lot of football, but this was... No, it wasn't 90 minutes, was it? Did he come off? He did come off in about the 60th minute, something like that. So he got 60 minutes under his belt, not too bad. But he certainly gave the ball away a lot today. Wasn't that match sharp, I don't think. dilly-dallied on the ball, missed some challenges. He got booked at one point, I believe. No, he didn't. He probably should have been booked because it was a really poor challenge. Maybe I was thinking I would have booked him for that one. But yeah, he obviously created the 2 goals for Egan. Great balls into the box where Egan put them in the back of the net. So that was great that he did. Brewster obviously started instead of Berger because Berger pulled his hamstring just before the start of the game. Brewster had a weird game. All you can say is that he's a striker playing in midfield because that's what he was. He was a bit all over the place. Didn't really know where he was playing. Didn't really know what he was being asked to do. He did okay. But his touch for me is just off a lot of the time. In that second half, right towards the end, he could have made it 4-1, but he took a really poor touch. And the centre-back managed to get across and nick it off him. But that would have been a one-on-one. He had multiple shots that were straight at the goalkeeper. He doesn't know how to hit the corners anymore, it seems. And then he had one shot from distance that hit row 𝐍𝐸𝐷. 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐿 was fantastic. Obviously got man of the match. Not as good as obviously the Peterborough game, I wouldn't say. But everything, like, everything goes through him. He's always looking for the ball. He's always showing. He's asking for the ball. 1-2, he's off. He's going somewhere else. If we can keep him till the end of the season, we've got a great chance of at least getting into the playoffs. We don't want to lose him. We really don't. But hopefully, 𝐿𝐸𝐸𝐻𝐿 will be back soon. Obviously, he wasn't risked in this game because he's been struggling with cramp recently in recent games, and maybe we thought, we've got the beating of Hull here. We don't really want to be bringing him on in this game. So I'm kind of glad that he didn't play, but also I think if Ndiaye would have played this game, I think would have probably been 3-0 up at half-time, and it would have been a lot easier game because there was multiple holes in the Hull defence, midfield. They weren't doing what Preston were doing and Preston pressing us. They were sitting off us constantly and letting us have the ball. It was weird in the box where they were giving away, or they could have given away multiple penalties from corners. They were all over us. But when it was in the middle of the field and stuff, they were nowhere near us. So mark my words, Hull are going down. No problem about that. Ben Osborne had an okay game. It wasn't as good as what I expected. I thought he was going to be back and excited, like kind of all over the place. But he has been ill recently, so it was a good game to say that he didn't play in the last game and he was recovering from an illness. Billy Sharp, a mixed bag really. Obviously took the goal really, really well. Got the penalty. It completely fully deserved. He did really well in getting into that position. Didn't put the ball in the back of the net for the penalty. Then elbowed Honeyman, and yeah, he was getting fouled. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't given a sniff after that, was it? Because they were constantly trying to foul him. Anyway, Sharpie like I said, had a mixed bag today. Got his goal on his 300th debut that he deserved. It's just a pity that he wasn't 2 or maybe more. Anyway, we brought on Chrissy Basham right at the end, right at the death, just to shore it up. He came on for Davis. We also brought Guardiola on earlier on, around about the 64th minute it was, for Horahan. And he had a good game, but I feel like that was because Hull was sitting off us quite a lot. So he was allowed to dictate the play, pass and move. He didn't look like a 35-year-old man. But saying that, a lot of the players on the Hull team will have been tired at that point. So he came on, had some nice touches, played some good football, obviously got his booking, which was completely not deserved. Had a shot that went to row 𝐍𝐸𝐷 as well. But no, overall, it was nice. Even though we were gutted that Sander Berge did not start this game, it was nice that he got on the bench and then he got some minutes as well. This is the game where you want to come on because he came on at 3-0 up. When it's kind of, you think it's done and dusted saying that. It completely wasn't done and dusted, was it? Because they scored and then they could have had another one, and you never know. But Guardiola came on and had a decent enough game for me. Ollie Mack came on as well, did all right. Nearly played an absolute fantastic ball through to Morgan Gibbs-White that would have obviously finished it off even more. And had a volley that the keeper just tipped wide, which I think he did really well with on his left foot, going across goal because it kind of landed funny for him. So good strike. I thought Ollie Mike had a decent little cameo, 14-minute cameo. So that's about it. Let's get into the comments, guys. Horahan over Norwood for me now, even if it's just for set pieces. Yeah, possibly. Really, for Norwood, what we were thinking were Norwood, the thing that he's best at is the thing that he's not as good at anymore. Set pieces. And the thing is, you can understand a player being slower as they get older, but set pieces shouldn't really ever be. David Beckham, even when he plays charity games, he's still putting balls onto people's heads because he's just fantastic at doing that. You don't lose it. And Norwood, it's a bit weird how he's gone from being this technically gifted crosser of the ball to just not that player anymore. And Horahan was just, obviously he made 2 goals. Excellent. Gibby is on Gibby is fire. Gibby, that's not a good name for him. If Horahan plays, what about Berger? Well, Berger and Horahan were going to be playing together today. It was only because Sander Berger pulled up in the warm-up that he didn't play, but they would have played together. It reminds me of Bash against Norwich. He missed the man. Still got a red, downgraded to a yellow. Yeah, absolutely. I'll go a bit further on because I know that people are commenting on what I've just said. We've got to get back where we want to be, lads. Abso-flipping-lutely. Dyer's class and all, I don't know too much quality. I don't know what that means. Impressed by Guardiola when he came on. No nonsense, safe passing. Yeah, it's always good to have safe passing, but let's be honest, before Gibbs-White came in and Dyer was playing, the safe passing is not what we wanted, was it? So hopefully he'll do what he's good at, and that's being defensive and winning the ball, being hard, and playing these nice little passes to players that are better than him, shall we say. Norwood slows players down. Yeah, you're possibly right. Great result. Anyone else getting Villa flashbacks when they scored? That's what I said on the watch-along. When they scored and then should have scored again. Let's be honest, he was miles onside. We need Bash on the pitch. To be honest, mate, where do you put him in that team? Well, Ben Davies had a cracking game. But yeah, for me, if Ben Davies isn't fit, Bash plays. It's just a bit weird that Robbo wasn't even on the bench today. An odd one. Didn't get out of second gear today. Hull were the poorest side we played. Absolutely. If we'd have been playing sort of the way that we did against Peterborough, and to be honest, if Ndiaye was on the pitch, like I said earlier, I think would have been 3 or 4 up at half time. They really weren't very good. Thought we were really poor down the left, hoping for Ender to return. I agree. I think Ender could be that left back for us. But the problem is that Norrington Davies, he's not exactly done a lot wrong to deserve to be kicked out of the team. But Ender Stevens, if we can get him back playing like he did when we got promoted and like he did when he was in that Premier League the first season, or half of it anyway, then that Ender Stevens is the best left back in this league. Hull player should have been sent off for the pen. Possibly. I don't even know the rules anymore. It used to be that if you're last man, you get sent off. And then they were talking about the double jeopardy rule where if it's a penalty, it shouldn't be a red card. So I don't even know Martin anymore, mate. I really don't. They change the rules year on year so much. I don't even realise that they stopped having goalkeepers only having it in the hands for 6 seconds. Like, it just changes and you never hear about these things. Just on our way back from the match, played well, but just need to sort of defence out. Absolutely, mate. I'm not going to say your name because I don't want to embarrass myself. But it's great that you've tuned in as you are on the way back. For me, Laporta should be at least on the bench. Yeah, definitely, I agree. Brewster had a quietly good couple of games. Seen him getting stick on Twitter, but I don't know why he's getting stick on Twitter. I really don't. He's not playing too badly, and that ball that he played to Morgan Gibbs-White for our second goal against Preston, just round the corner, was beautiful. Lapata did play yesterday. I think what he's trying to say is that he should be in the first team, not in the under-23s. How did Olsen do? Okay. He didn't really have a lot to do in the game, in all honesty. He didn't have a chance with the goal, and really everything else was just quite simple. Also, no Freeman on the bench. Great shout. Did not even realise that he wasn't on the bench, which is worrying. Looks ready for first team in pre-season. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I'm guessing that's Laporta. And Stevens has fallen off a little bit. I think Bogle should start more. I disagree, Higgs, mate. I disagree. And Bogle, every time I've seen him this season, he's been rubbish. So Baldock for me. Even Baldock not playing as well, Baldock is always number one for me. And now that we don't necessarily need the fullbacks to join in with the attack, Baldock even more so, because Baldock is a much better defender than Bogle is. Bogle had probably been on the halfway line for their goal, and he wouldn't have tracked back. So, yeah. Hi, mate. I was messaging you this morning. Yes, you did. You said that we were going to win, didn't you? As in Sheffield United were going to win. Fair play. I don't want you to go down, but it's looking bleak at the moment, mate. It really is for you. Because we didn't particularly play well today. We didn't, and obviously we came away scoring 3 goals. What happened to Ender? He was nutmegging everyone at one point. He was absolutely. Mark Stevenson. We were giving the ball away far too many times and never got out of second gear. Absolutely, but if you're going to win 3-1 and you not got out of second gear, it's not a bad way to go. 11 goals in the last 3 games. If we keep this up, we'll definitely reach the playoffs. It's just about sorting out the defence, isn't it, mate? And last one, 𝐍𝐸𝐲𝐵𝐵𝐿𝐼, legend, love that name. Bogle should be playing as one of these wide forwards rather than a defender. Not sure about that. Not sure about that, because he's gone through pretty much most of his career playing at right back, so playing on the wing, I'm not sure. We've got a lot of good players on the wings as well, so maybe eventually, but right now, going forward, we've got some good players. I'll just quickly have a look at a couple more. After the nightmare 18 months Stevens had and Reece-Nathan Davis looking average, do we need a replacement in January? We've got too many left backs, haven't we? No, I don't think so. I think Norrington Davis will come good, and I also think Ender Stevens will get back eventually to what he was. Maybe not how good he was, but he'll certainly get better than he was last season. And playing in a worse division, you'll have to say, in the Championship, then hopefully Ender Stevens will be a lot better. Tyler Smith was onside for the goal. Yeah, absolutely. But you deserve to win. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, completely agree, Carl. Egan did well, obviously, but what are your thoughts on his recent defensive performances, I'm guessing? Egan's done okay this season. He's not been brilliant. A lot of people kind of having a go at Jack Robinson and other defenders. Egan's been steady-ish, but there has been times where he's not made the right decision at the right time and getting bullied slightly from kind of Birmingham, Preston. So I want to see Egan more like a Chris Morgan. The wingers that we tried to get in the transfer window, can we get them in January? Good point, Daniel. Really, really good point. Let's hope so. And if we can get ourselves into like the December time in with a chance between kind of 1st and 10th, there's a massive chance of us getting into the playoffs or better. And also in January, obviously, like you say, in the transfer window, picking up a couple of really exciting attacking midfielders or wingers, because we could lose Morgan Gibbs-White, which would be a massive, massive loss. And Ndiaye needs to sort his fitness out. But really, if we've got Ndiaye, he's a fantastic player. But it would be nice to get a couple of wingers in, like you say. Would be excellent. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We've been talking for nearly half an hour here. So, yeah, thank you very much. Make sure you like the video before you go. We always struggle with that. Get the likes in. It really, really helps the video out. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time. Have a good one.